Happy New Year, everyone. 'Tis the season of resolutions, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't often do a New Year's resolution, but this year, mostly because I'm doing this video, I thought that it would be a good idea to commit myself to something. And what better to do this year than to resolve to have better sex? And that is not to say that the sex that I have been having up until now has been bad. It's been solid. Just there's always room for improvement. So how exactly am I going to do this and measure this? Especially considering that, full disclosure, I am currently single, and I'm not even sure how often I will get the opportunity this year to have sex with somebody who I actually want to be having sex with. However, I have a secret to having the best sex ever, and it is a secret that I am able to practice just me, myself, and I. So whether you are with a partner, or several partners, or no partner at all right now, if you want to know how to have better sex this year and forever thereafter, keep watching this video. And give it a thumbs up right now if you want to, just because that would be great. I am Kendra, somatic sex coach and counselor here at Eat, Squat, Come. In my last video, which you can watch here or here maybe, depending on where I figure out how to put it in post, I discussed how mental and emotional blocks can get in the way of us being able to achieve orgasm. And the main tool I suggested for helping to overcome those blocks is something called a mindful erotic practice. This practice is also the key to having the best sex ever. And by best sex ever, I just mean the sex that you and your body want, because best sex ever is totally relative. Regardless, mindful erotic practice is fruit for all. The term mindful erotic practice was originally coined by somatic sex educators and adapted from something called orgasmic yoga, which was developed by a man named Dr. Joseph Kramer in the early 90s. I did introduce it in my last video, but just as a refresher, it is a practice that is designed to help individuals become more embodied. Basically, it is a set amount of time that you dedicate to being aware of your body, paying attention to it on purpose and engaging in behavior that you will find pleasing in that moment. It could involve breathing, savoring, sounding, moving, and touching your own body for your pleasure. The reason though that we call it mindful erotic practice and not just masturbation or even mindful masturbation is because masturbating is often highly habitual and disembodied. It is usually about getting off as quickly as we can and chasing an orgasm using our most fail-safe methods and fantasies. And I'm not knocking that. Quickie masturbation sessions are like my jam, and they also release a ton of blissful hormones and neurotransmitters that can give you tons of energy and radiant looking skin. But mindful erotic practice is about more than just getting off and radiant skin. The point is to be in a state of arousal in the absence of fantasy, cultural caveats, habitual behaviors, and unfinished emotional business. By repeating this practice over time, we are actually consciously installing positive experiences into our body that helps to mitigate trauma, shame, and fear around sex. Also, it allows us to become aware of our bodies as a source of power, wisdom, and happiness. So you may be wondering, how does just mindfully touching myself actually lead to having the best sex ever? What about toys and role play and 50 Shades of Twilight fanfiction? To that I say, you will not know what the best sex ever even is for you until you know thyself. And it is through mindful erotic practice that we are able to learn who we are and what we are capable of as erotic beings. It actually expands our ability to feel pleasure. The more you practice feeling pleasure, the more pleasure you are capable of feeling. It's like you train your brain to orient to pleasure, and that takes time and practice. Which means that then when we are with a partner, we will have that much more access to pleasurable sensation, and we'll be way less likely then to get stuck in our heads, worrying, or experiencing pain, numbness, or untimely orgasms. So my resolution then this year is to engage in a 30-day mindful erotic practice challenge. Every day, for the next 30 days, I will spend at least 30 minutes doing a mindful erotic practice. I have done them before often, but I just have never done them 30 days in a row. I will share with you my experience in the coming videos and even some of my favorite practices. Sometimes I do a shaking practice, sometimes I have a naked dance party, sometimes I just stretch my body and do hip openers, masturbate in front of a mirror, massage my breasts, use a jade egg, breathe between my heart and my womb, or I crawl around and pretend like I'm an animal. Seriously, I do some pretty weird stuff. But it always feels amazing, and when I'm done, I always feel alive and energized and totally sexy and embodied. So I invite you to join me in this challenge. I am basically just asking you to spend the next 30 days paying attention to yourself and loving yourself and learning how to love yourself better and learning how to have better sex. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but To each their own. I still would welcome the company. And that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions or comments or experiences with Mindful Erotic Practice that you want to share them below. And until next time, eat, squat, and come.